I'm going to show you how to correctly connect up a manifold gauge to read the pressures of an automotive air conditioning system. What I'll show you is to identify the suction side, the low side of the AC system, and the high side, which is the slightly bigger one in the red cap. Okay, so start off with, take off the caps. These are just to stop any dust from getting in the system, especially when you connect up the valves to get dust inside the system. Pop this to one side and do it. Connect the low side first. Safety first. Always wear eye protection. Use a cloth because you will get some oil and refrigerant coming out sometimes, especially if the system's just recently been used. So put that over there. Like that. That's the low side. The high side, just down here. Once again, cover it up. Make sure you're not going to get any spray. And that's it. So you've got the high side, liquid line, which is always the thinner line. You can see it there. Thinner line. And the low side, which is the blue, is always the bigger side. Okay. Now that's set up. So I'll take you off the tripod. Alright, now that your gauge is connected to the system, here's the manifold gauge. As I mentioned before, the blue line is the low side, which is the suction line of the air conditioning system, and then you've got the high side, which is the liquid line, high pressure side of the system. Each one has its own gauge. As you can see at the moment, from the low side, they're both equal. That's because the system's static, both sides are connected to one another, and when the system's not working, the pressures will be equal. As you can see here, we've got 86 pounds of pressure in the system as it is. Pressure will relate to ambient temperature because refrigerants, as most gases, as the temperature rises, so does the pressure. So earlier on today it was about 30 degrees, so it was probably about 96 psi. Now it's a bit cooler, it's dropped down again. So that's another common perception. Charging by pressure only is false, because unless you convert how much expands to the temperature to how much you're putting in the system, you'll always get it wrong. So a more accurate charge would be to charge to the weight and ignore the pressures in some respects. Okay, so as you can see here, you've got three lines. Like you say, your blue's your low, red's your high, and the yellow one is, as you can see with the sight glass, that's your service line. That's to put anything in or out of the system. And obviously, you open the manifold to the yellow gauge by these knobs here. So if I wanted to open the low side, you turn this knob, and it will vent anything from the low side through the yellow tube. Okay, as you can see, nothing's happening at the moment because the pressures are equal. I shall start the system up, start the car, turn the aircon on, and just watch what happens with the gauges. Okay, straight away you can see the system has dropped to £22 on the low side, which is the suction, and on the high side it's gone up to about £150, as you can see. What's happening is that the pressure's drawing in the refrigerant on the low side, compressing it into hot gas, and sends it out into the condenser, the liquid line, condensed back into the liquid at £150. Now, the reason why it's always better to have one of these systems rather than a single gauge is because When static, you saw the pressure's the same. But as soon as you switch the system on, you can almost imagine the high side is completely different to the low side. You know, it's connected, it behaves like a different system. Now at the moment I've got the AC on low, which means the fan speed is low, the AC is on, so we've only got a very small amount of warm air flowing through the evaporator, which means it's not going to be a very fast boil off or vaporization of the liquid freon that's been sprayed in there by the system. Now I'll turn the fan up and see if there's any pressure difference. Now straight away there, it's dropped from 150 on the high side to 140, 145, and on the low side it's up to 19 or 20 pounds. Now there's a drop in pressure because on the low side there is more refrigerant being drawn back as a vapour than there originally was before when the system was on low. There's more of a demand, so more liquid refrigerant will be evaporated and returned to the low side pressure side of the compressor. Keep watching it there. Now it's dropped back up to, come back up to £150 there. So, but you can see there how a system works. What I'll do is I'll turn the AC off and the engine off again. Yeah, the Toyota likes to do that now and then, run on with the ignition turned off. Now you can see the refrigerant now has stopped flowing through the system, and you can see the low side needle slowly climbing, and what that is any liquid refrigerant is now sat in the lines, boiling off, and thus increasing the pressure of the system again, and it'll probably average out at about 94, 96 pounds again like it did before. There we go, you can see it going up now on the low side, and you can see it dropping on the high side. So, good thing about buying a manifold gauge set is, if you're going to attempt to charge a system or read the pressures, don't buy a single sided one, which only shows you the low side. The simple reason is, a lot of people will buy one of these to top up the refrigerant if it's low. Sometimes they'll purchase it, connect it to the system and think, oh, I've got about between 30 and 50 pounds of pressure on the lower side. When the system's running, I've got refrigerant, so why is it blowing warm? Well, the other side of the story is not present. You can't read it with a single low side gauge, because, for example, if you had a problem with your thermal expansion valve, it wouldn't show on this side. You would just think, oh, I've got adequate refrigerant, why is it not working? Puts a lot of questions into the diagnosing of the system. So these are about $50 or $60. You can buy more elaborate ones all the way to $800 if you like, with connections for R22 systems or R410 systems. But if you just want one for your automotive, just get a standard set of manifold gauges, $50. However though, I must warn against DIYing if you're not too sure how these systems work, because as you've seen, there's a lot of pressure in that system, and it's a gas which is illegal to vent into the atmosphere. In this case this is HR12, which isn't as bad as 134A or the old R12 refrigerant which used to burn holes in the ozone layer. It's actually a hydrocarbon based refrigerant, and it's better for the environment it's naturally occurring to. The pressures are almost identical to 134A, and it performs just as good if not better. Anyway, I won't get into that, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of pressure inside there. If you don't know what you're doing, you will cause yourself an accident. I'll always recommend eye protection, because if one of those valves blows off the pipe, you'll get a spray of liquid refrigerant either into your eyes or into your skin, and you will get frostbite. That has been heard of. And frostbite to your eye, you will lose your sight. It's not something good. And some some states like Australia, for example, it's actually illegal to work on your own AC system without being licensed. So do it at your own risk. Like I say, if you read up about it and you've got the confidence or you've done it before, then why not? But if you've not done it before, please exercise extreme caution and probably leave it to the professionals. But if you want to do it, that's your own risk you want to take. So yeah, that's how to properly use a manifold set. Please stay away from the cheap single gauge ones. They're not worth it. If you want to do it properly, this is how you do it. The pressures on an AC system are everything. If you've only got half the story, only at the low side, then you can't really diagnose or fix or charge an AC system up. So yeah, I hope this is some help to you. Thank you for watching.